Okay, is it just me, or does it feel like Horikoshi is at this point on a warpath of tormenting Endeavor? Because chapter 250 of My Hero Academia, it just made me think like, wow. So chapter 249, Endeavor's having nightmares night after night of his family being all happy around the table without him. Mind you, his son died when he was younger, Toya. Now this chapter, he sees another one of his children in a life or death situation, seemingly about to die, taken hostage. Like, what are you doing to this man, Horikoshi? Why must you torment this man that just wants to change? He just wants redemption. He just wants to be forgiven for past actions. Why must you put this man, his feet to the fire, no pun intended, every freaking chapter? Now it's like you scarred his face. You know what I'm saying? You scarred the man's face, you're giving him nightmares, he got PTSD of the shit that he did to other people, and then now this? Really, Horikoshi? Like, did the fans get to you that much? And by the way, relax, I'm not coming at him like that. I'm just saying, like, I feel so bad for Endeavor at this point. It's like, how much more must he go through? And then the death flags on top of that. Let's talk that My Hero Academia chapter 250. What the fuck?
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
So it seems like one of the themes when it comes to Endeavor is the past coming back to haunt you. I mean, his character, once especially he started making a 180 and going from just this hardened piece of crap that, you know, wanted to push Todoroki Shoto to the bitter end of like, yo, you gotta be the successor to All Might. Once All Might stepped down after the All For One fight, this is where Endeavor's whole life changed. Up until that point, again, he was an ass. He treated his family like garbage and everything, but that was such a humbling experience. Men are not meant to be humble, they're meant to be humbled. And he has been humbled time and time again, but it seems like he can't escape his past. It seems as though that's one of the things that Horikoshi is really pointing out, that when you've done some stuff, your past can come back to bite you. And it is time and time again showing that, like with this chapter, because a villain from 7 years ago that Endeavor captured is now taking action. And it's crazy because there was little foreshadowing, if you think about it, from like the last couple chapters, where after his son Natsuo, or last chapter shall I say, where his son Natsuo had walked out, you know, he left, he was like, I can't do this or whatever, but he was still standing around. And that was Horikoshi saying, yeah, he's still standing around, just wait what's gonna happen when this dude shows up. Because the chapter opens up with narration from this guy named Takami that, again, 7 years ago Endeavor had captured and imprisoned, and he just got out and he's looking for vengeance. It seems as though there's been a lot of things that have just kind of come out of nowhere when it comes to Endeavor, just really pushing forward and forward of like, bad things is coming his way. Now that he got the title, it's a bittersweet feeling. He got the title of #1, he's finally there, but everything that he went through, his path that he carved to get there, is just continuing to bounce back and hurt him. Because this guy was plotting. He said, yo, when I was released for prison, you know what I did? The first thing I did, I ain't go get nothing to eat. Nah, why would I do that? I'm gonna go stalk this man. I'm gonna go look into his background and see what's going on with him. He put me in there. Like, Horikoshi, leave Endeavor alone. Come on, man. So we cut back to the in-house drama with like, it's not even funny, but it's like the drama in there is so intense because we go from one thing to another. Now Todoroki's sister, Shoto's sister, I gotta start saying Shoto more because Todoroki is their last name, but Shoto's sister is there talking, and they're bringing up once again the brother that passed away, Toya, which it's clear as day to me, and I'll be shocked if it's not. I'll actually be very surprised if it doesn't turn out to be Dabi, but it seems as though it's clear to me that it's Dabi. Like, if you take away Dabi's scars and everything, it looks like Dabi, and maybe it was something to do with his quirk that started everything or whatever, and why he died, and maybe that's also tying in everything, because let's just take a step back. One of the themes of this arc as well has been him having these 3 kids, Deku, Todoroki, Bakugo, try and save someone before him. Maybe that's something that is weighing heavy on his conscience. Let's connect the dots right here. If he was unable to save his son. Maybe he wants to breed the next generation to be able to be quicker and more agile and overall save people that he can't save or he couldn't in the past. So maybe the fact that he was not able to save his son, which is probably Dabi, it weighs heavy on him. But that would be the most interesting redemption. And I don't know, it would also be, again, bittersweet. It seems like there's no positive outcome for this man Endeavor. It seems as though, okay, Toya, he's really struggling with the fact that his son died back in the day. Maybe he might be still alive. Maybe Dabi might be Toya, but his son turns out to be one of the biggest villains in the biggest villain organization out there, and it's bittersweet. It's like he's alive, but he turned into this piece of trash. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this turns out. I'm curious why Toya decided to go that route. Like, was it All For One as well that invited himself into this, and Dabi is also a victim of All For One, unbeknownst to Shigaraki? Or I can't remember what their interactions were, Dabi and All For One, so I can't really say completely there, but that would be interesting of All For One also having tampered with Endeavor's life just like he did All Might's. And cutting back, Natsuo, one of the things the sister reveals is that he's the only one that pretty much can't forgive Endeavor because he feels like Endeavor killed Toya. Now, why would he feel like that? A lot of the times, it'd be very vague. And probably what he means by that is maybe because Endeavor was so worried about his own prerogative when whatever happened, maybe it was a fire or whatever, that instead of saving all his children, he focused on saving Shoto or something along the lines of that. Because at this particular point, based on what it was described, that the death happened shortly after Todoroki got burned in his face. Shoto got burned in his face, and then the mom went crazy. They put her in the crazy home, and after that, it was like, okay, now he died. So maybe him prioritizing certain things, certain people, or whatever the case may be when it comes to that, is why Natsuo feels as though Toya died because of him. He killed him. But in actuality, it's not like, Endeavor went and burnt his son to death or anything like that. He probably couldn't save him in time because of his priorities weren't in check. And yeah, I don't blame Natsuo for feeling that way, but come on, man, why Endeavor doesn't get nothing? Horikoshi just wants to torture this man, damn. And I ain't gonna lie, I just thought of the SpongeBob meme when Natsuo was like, alright, I'm gonna head out. I just imagined Natsuo, the character in the SpongeBob chair, alright, I'm gonna head out then. Oh, Pops is showing up. Alright, I'm gonna head out then. I'm sorry. I'm so horrible for that. And you can see the sincerity on Endeavor's face when he thanks his daughter. Thank you for this. It gave him an opportunity to at least spend some type of time with his children. And of course, they get in their car and Bakugo being the comedic relief. I mean, well, before we even get to that, okay, a little bit of foreshadowing of what's to come. Endeavor's like, now we're gonna increase the workload. Now I want you guys to work at least 2 weekdays as well. So they're gonna have to be moving the class around, which is good. I don't want to see them in the class anymore. That's just me. I know it's My Hero Academia, but we've had so much of the academia part that if it's going to keep them out the classroom to work 2 weekdays as well, I'm all for it. Maybe we'll see a chapter here, there, them in the class with class 1A or whatever, but personally, I like that. So foreshadowing for more street stuff to come with them being on the streets with Endeavor, but who knows what could change after this chapter. I'm just saying, something might happen. But quickly, before we get to the serious shit again, Bakugo, yo, he's been you need that icebreaker, because if not, this would just be the most depressing chapters. Just think about talking about, a little kid that died, that was part of the family, nobody forgiven Endeavor for being an abusive dad. So you need somebody like Bakugo shitting all over, oh man, you're supposed to be number one. Why you got such a small ass car? What's going on here? And you can see that a lot of people take after Endeavor's personality that probably look up to him, the driver's so aggressive, yo, why you got these dumbass high school dropouts in my car right now? What are you doing? But again, it just continuously shows, and I love that Horikoshi, at the very least, despite every bad thing that he's throwing darts at a picture of Endeavor, he's ever since they appointed me number one. You see the change, even in the way his facial expressions, the way he's drawn and everything. He's not the same no more. The people that have sent depth dressing are just so angry at this character. Stop already. How much more do you want from him? And then Takumi is in the middle of the road, that villain, with Natsuo tied the hell up, and you see Endeavor jump out there oh man, it's that was a stark reminder. Again, the past will come back to you. So this was 7 years ago that this guy was arrested for assault. And then it turned out at the end of the day that he looked up to Endeavor so much, but he knew he could never be like him. So it's really weird. This seems like it reminds me of a scene out of, I want to say it was one of the Batman films, and I can't really remember, to be honest with you, one of the animated ones where the Joker was you're gonna have to kill me one day, Batman. You gotta do it at some point. And this guy is like, you ain't gonna be able to make the same mistake twice. You might as well just kill me. You gotta do it. As he has Natsuo there tied up in, you know, seemingly his quirk or something like that. So he's gonna push Endeavor to the limit now, because now he got him as a hostage. His son is in danger. That's gonna mess with his emotions, and his quick instincts might not be as quick and as agile and as thought out, because now his emotions are involved. So that's a very slick way from this guy that his name is Ending. Like, holy cow, what a name. And I'm wondering how this is all gonna work out. I think there's a possibility, and this is just me, that because Endeavor's emotions will get in the way, this will be the opportunity and the time. Not that they're gonna be taking the opportunity, because hey, you know, Shoto's brother is tied up there, and Endeavor's there trying to fight for his son's life at that point. But I think this could be a possibility of Endeavor messing up some way or somehow, and the other three are the ones that stop the villain and save Natsuo before Endeavor. That would be the craziest thing. Maybe he won't make the workload go to the 2 weekdays, maybe, you know, but that would be a crazy way to, because that's real work experience. That's a very crazy situation for them to be in. The fact that they could possibly outdo Endeavor in that field would be perfect for the story. And just all around this chapter, man, is like, I just can't help but continue to say, wow, like Horikoshi's just torturing this man mentally, emotionally, and every which way of like, how much more must you throw at him? When is enough? Curious what you guys thought about this chapter though. How did you feel about Endeavor's past once again coming back to bite him? Do you think that this chapter in particular solidified yet again Endeavor will die at some given point? What do you think is going to happen with Natsuo that's tied up? Do you think that the quote-unquote, I like to call them big three, even though I know there's the big three with Medio and them, but you know, Deku, Shoto, and Bakugo, do you think they're going to be able to save and stop this guy before Endeavor, or at least save the Natsuo before Endeavor, or vice versa, whatever? You think this would be a great way to pass the test? Also, do you think there's a possibility how it all ties in, the fact that Endeavor's mission for them is to be able to stop a villain or save somebody before him, and maybe his son wasn't able to, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't able to do that, so it all ties in, and the Toya Dabi theory, like My Hero Academia, very, very intense. Thankfully, we got Bakugo to say, yo, you got a small ass car, fam. You're supposed to be number one. What you doing here? But that's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links, of course, are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and man, cut Endeavor some slack. I'm just saying, like,
Enjoy the next ride, but I was the best ride. But I